am Sonu Sood and welcome to India's only Good News channel. Good News is a unique channel that shows news that makes the country better. We want to increase the amount of good within you so that you do more and more good deeds. Today I will remind you of Shravan Kumar. To serve without any selfishness, to value others' wishes more than one's own, to benefit others even at the cost of one's own loss in life, to be ready to do anything to fulfill someone's desire. So such an amazing and rare combination of emotions is something we only heard about in Shravan Kumar's stories in our childhood. Everyone in India knows the stories associated with King Dasharatha, but do Shravan Kumars exist in the 21st century? We will tell you today. Let's see. Such dedication towards others that a person forgets their own gain or loss, it is very rarely seen. Although, when we formed society, the condition was to understand the pain of others, but gradually we got so immersed in our own pain that we stopped seeing others. However, there are still some people among us who always hold on to the spirit of Shravan. The human values they possess are so great that they keep reminding us of the amazing work they do. Let's watch.
Old age is a phase when the elders in our homes move towards childhood once again. All the little and big things we did in childhood are repeated directly or indirectly in old age, but due to circumstances, the roles reverse here and their children become their parents and take care of them. So today we are going to introduce you to Anita and Rakeshu, who have changed their roles for their parents. Let's find out what their story is. My name is Anita. We live in Delhi. I am in my late 40s. I work with a private sector company. And my parents lived in Nashik for more than 25 years and lived independently, just the two of them. Yes, my mother is 71 years old and my daddy is 77 years old. So until now, they were quite independent. They used to do all the household chores themselves. They used to manage their own bungalow. But now that health issues have cropped up, it started feeling difficult for them to manage the house and also manage their own health. And all three of us siblings, two of them, live in Bombay. I live here. So with our jobs, it's difficult for us to visit them there. Plus, when we talk to them on the phone, they never tell us anything. Even if there are health issues, they say everything is fine. Things would stay bottled up, so their health care wasn't being managed properly. That's why we felt if they lived with us, we could look after them and address the small problems as they crop up. Actually, my in-laws also lived in Jammu, and a year ago we thought about them too, as they are getting on in age. They are 75 plus, so they also need attention. They also have daily needs that a year ago, we shifted them here. They live right near us. And, well, both houses are separate. Both have independence. But they are still together. So we keep meeting every other day. We even meet every single day. When there is a need, we are there together. We celebrate festivals together. So it's a good, healthy relationship that we have. And they know that we are with them. Whenever there's a health issue or any other, issue. My parents raised me, educated me, and made me independent. So whatever I am today, it is because of them. So the question will never enter my mind whether I should attend to them or not. I will always want to take care of them to the extent that it is possible. Yes, this question could arise in my husband's mind. This question could arise in my in-laws' minds, that it is not the girl's job, that she shouldn't be doing all this. But you can see my husband is extremely cooperative. In fact, he takes care of my parents even more than I do. So it's a non-issue as far as he is concerned. So I would say it's his greatness. And even my in-laws don't think in terms of we are the boys' side, or this is the girl's side, or this is the girl's. They also take as much care of my parents as we all are doing. So they are very, very evolved, I must say.
No, such a thought has never come. So in that way, my parents are also evolved. They also have good relations with each other. And irrespective of that, I don't think that should ever be a criterion. Because when you get wed to a family, there is no differentiation between my parents and her parents. We have never had that. If something needs attention here or needs to be done, then it is a necessity. There is no escaping that, and actually, I feel that escape is a different thing. It's a duty. We are duty-bound. And if I go a step further, I believe that God has given us an opportunity to serve. We have to act and feel responsible. There is no dilemma in this. And there is no discrimination either, whether it's my parents or my wife's parents. This thought shouldn't even exist. I am very fortunate to have a son-in-law like him. Not just in this life, but in every life, I will pray to God for his well-being. Time is passing very well. But as I told you before, I don't feel good about causing them trouble. They take me to the hospital in the middle of the night. They look after everything themselves. This health problem happened just recently. Before coming to Delhi, my daughter came and the doctor said that the operation would have to be done again. So I was not ready. I didn't want to get it done. She took me again. She got me to meet Mr. Hegde at Escorts. After talking to him, I got it done. He did it very well, but it was my bad luck that complications kept arising, one after another. And you should add one more thing. Very few people are as fortunate as I am. They have been very good to me as well. Right now, Pandiji takes a lot of care of me. On my part, I endure it physically. In such a hectic life, they manage their jobs, home, and relationships. Keeping track of everything is quite a task.
The children insisted that we stay with them. I was less inclined because society doesn't view moving into a daughter's home favorably. So we thought a lot about it, but eventually we had to come here. And they have given us so much happiness here. A lot. There is a difference between helping and having freedom. Ladies need the freedom to eat whenever they feel like it and do whatever they want. We have no problems here at all. Neither of us has any. That is why I pray to God to keep everyone happy always. May both of them stay happy, and may God bless them for everything they have done. No, an old age home was never an option. This thought never even crossed our minds. In fact, many of our friends are also taking care of their parents, whether the parents are living with them or in the house next door. But this is a very common thing in our friend circle. So we are not the first people who are taking care of their parents. A person has their own limitations or their own problems. So if someone is sending them to an old age home, it is not fair for me to comment on why they are doing so. But yes, every person tries to do as much as they can from their end. We are also doing whatever we can. There must be some other people who take even better care of their parents. So everyone is doing what they can within their own limitations. But yes, we aren't Shravan Kumars, but we are doing as much as we can. So you saw how every member of this family is playing their role so well. Rakesh and Anita are taking care of both their parents just the way their parents took care of them in their childhood. And they are proving that parents are not just our responsibility, but an integral part and essence of our lives. With video journalist Parmender, this is Tejari Purandare for Good News Today.
There is a son in Delhi whose name is Vineet. He has dedicated his entire life to serving his parents. If someone sacrifices family happiness, then somewhere or the other, society reminds them of the values that Shravan Kumar gave us. Let's see.
The sight of someone massaging their father's or mother's feet is not rare. Yes, the circumstances are a bit different. Vineet does this as a routine. This service to his parents is a part of his habit. A habit so that his parents do not face any discomfort. Living in Delhi's Shalimar Bagh, Vineet is not dependent on anyone to serve his parents. He does all the work himself. His parents are over 80 years old. Vineet's parents depend on him for most of their tasks.
I mean, my father had a heart problem in 2015. We got him admitted and he had a bypass surgery. Sometime after he recovered, he developed a disc problem. So he had a disc surgery about 1.5 or 2 years later. Ever since he started feeling a bit of weakness in his legs, he has had trouble moving around. So he has to rely on a walker or a stick for support.
Vineet's father, Yashpal Mangia, has undergone 3 surgeries. This includes a major operation like heart surgery. Apart from that, he has had 2 spinal surgeries. It's not just the father. His mother also constantly suffers from joint pain. Because of this, Vineet's parents cannot walk around much. Both of them need support to walk. Vineet has chosen to serve his parents himself. As an artist by profession, Vineet has been earning 2,000 to 2,500 rupees a day. He has been earning around 1 lakh rupees a month. Time presented a dual challenge for Vineet. Vineet chose to prioritize his parents. From giving them medicine and taking them to the washroom to putting on their slippers, he prefers to do everything himself. Despite having a business, Vineet prefers to spend most of his time with his parents. Following the doctor's advice, Vineet takes his father for a walk 3 to 4 times a day. Vineet's father, Yashpal, also recognizes his son's devotion. He feels that even though society may be changing, values have retained their strength.
It has been 25 years since our son got married. We see among people that there are often quarrels between daughters-in-law and mothers-in-law. To this day, I have never been angry. She has never spoken back to me. We have created an environment at home similar to the one we saw growing up, and the children are carrying it forward. It is simple serve today, and you will be served tomorrow.
Not just his father, but his mother also knows how much Vineet has eased the hardships of their old age.
Oh, this boy is also very good. Our daughter-in-law is also good. Our grandsons are also good. They come to see us together.
Vineet is now passing these values on to his own sons as well. Mostly, he doesn't leave his parents' side for long. Even if he has to leave, he assigns responsibilities to his sons so that the spirit of service remains alive in them too.
If you understand the definition of duty and karma, some people spend their whole lives serving their parents, considering it their duty, while others believe this is their karma and we must live our lives by doing good deeds. Perhaps after understanding these definitions, a few people emerge whom we call the Shravan Kumar of the modern age. Those who dedicate their entire lives, their time, and everything they have to serving their parents in this Kali Yuga truly appear to be the Shravan Kumars of this modern age. With camera person Himanshu, this is Varun Sinha for Good News Today. He hung 2 baskets from a pole resting on his shoulder while he seated his parents in them and set off on a pilgrimage. The moment Shravan Kumar's name is mentioned, one is reminded of his blind parents and their devoted son. A son who, lacking the money to fulfill his parents' 12 wishes, began a pilgrimage on foot. Today, as cases of violence against the elderly are rising in our society and we hear such stories, we feel we have forgotten Shravan Kumar. But that is not the case. Even today, there are sons among us who would do anything for their parents.
The year is 2016. This is from 2016. It was sometime after July, around July or August, when I was sleeping one night. Suddenly, I broke into a sweat, and it felt as if I was partially paralyzed. My leg wouldn't lift, my hand wouldn't move. I broke into a sweat, and then after at least half an hour, I felt a bit better after getting up, and then my children took me to the hospital. I was admitted there for at least 10 days. After that, they mentioned that my creatinine levels were high, but they didn't say my kidneys were failing. They told me, brother, your creatinine is around 6. I didn't fully understand their technical language. After that, I came home. After returning home, I started having fevers and such. My fever wouldn't break. Then I had to undergo dialysis for 2 months right here. After that, we went to Max Hospital. They also said the same thing, that the kidneys were failing, both of them, so he would need a transplant.
So whenever he had dialysis, he would suffer, his BP would drop, he would feel cold. I mean, he would feel such extreme cold in the heat that they had to give him separate injections.
He would feel cold in the summer. This was in July. He struggled for 2 months, and we couldn't bear to watch it.
We looked for a kidney in many places, but nothing matched, and there were complications. We didn't have permission to take a kidney from another person without legal approval. Then this son insisted that he would donate his kidney. I told him, brother, I will not take your kidney. He kept persisting. He kept taking me to the hospital many times. I kept talking to Dr. Sunil Prakash that I would donate my kidney. So I even threatened him several times and forbade him to. Then he did not listen. I have already lived as much of my life as I had. Why should I ruin his life as well? Thinking this, I kept refusing. But in the end, he became adamant. Then I had to agree as well. No,
They didn't even listen when he said that he was going to say he would donate his kidney. They didn't even want to hear it because it made no sense. We didn't want to take it at all. Then, with great difficulty, I slowly convinced them that nothing would happen to me because their only concern was that we had already lived our lives, that we had our lives. Now your life, you are 35, so why should we ruin your life off? Look, we have lived through everything, but you are still very young. So I assured them that nothing would happen to me. Only then did they agree, otherwise until the last moment. Actually, until the last day, they hadn't agreed.
Look, daughter, my heart was willing that my husband would be saved and Barca's grandfather would be saved. But I was also worried about my son. I had two things on my mind. I was worried about my son and also happy that the child's grandfather would be saved and my husband would be saved.
During that time, when we went out, everyone would talk because the talk in the colony was that their son is giving them his kidney, Wesa. So many aunties would tell me, uncles would meet me and say, "Son, why are you giving it?" We are already old. So I would just smile and tell them, yes, okay, I will see. I mean, I didn't argue with them much because I had to do what I had to do. So I didn't argue much with them and would just laugh it off. I said, okay, auntie, okay, uncle. I would just say this and come away.
I did refuse, but I did it half-heartedly. Look, I speak lies very rarely. Why would I lie? So that someone could favor me? But the thing was, I had heard it in many places. I asked in many places. I mean, even educated people in the family, one can live well with one kidney. I asked many people. People.
Many people used to say that his father should not take the son's kidney. They are refusing. They have refused from the very beginning. But it was my insistence, right? Because no one can bear to see their own parents suffer. I don't know how people can watch their parents suffer, but I just couldn't. Actually, when I had my surgery, I was admitted in good health. And after they removed the kidney, I was so fit that I felt they could discharge me the next day. Suddenly, after 2 days, I started feeling pain and fever, and my condition worsened. Maybe something was left inside, because they are doctors too. Yes. Brother, no one does something like that on purpose. Then they operated on me again that same night. And after that surgery, my condition became extremely critical. It had become very bad. So I had the surgery, then recovery followed, and then my mother came to visit me. Seeing my condition, she got panicked, thinking that I wouldn't make it. She was sure I was gone. So I assured her that I would definitely make it. Nothing is more important than life itself. Because when life is gone, money doesn't help either. So, if you can get your life back, it's a great thing. And these are our parents, after all, they gave us everything. So can't we give them a small organ?
I am actually proud of this. I am healthy too. They are healthy as well. It's not a big deal. But it's all right. I got even more than just a life. In a way, I got a second chance at life.
It's been 50 years of marriage. I was thinking about them. They should live on. And God made both of them successful. My son survived, and my husband survived too.
They brought us this far. They brought us here, and the selfless motive was that if they are the head of our family, they provide us with good values. These are our values, so if they are around, everything will be fine. Brother, if they go, we will lose our way and our life will be ruined anyway, right? So as long as they are giving us good teachings, everything is fine. If you do things from the heart, God sees it, so there is no point in thinking that way, because if you have a negative thought, the outcome will be negative. Always think positively, so I stayed positive. Because they served their own parents well. So they did it, and now I am doing it. It is our destiny and Indian culture that if you serve your parents, they have served their parents. We saw how they served their parents, so we will follow the same path, won't we?
Children should think about their parents and serve them. Just as my child has done, other people's children should do the same. I would just say that everyone should uphold their relationships in this way. In today's age of nuclear families, families separate after marriage. Many times parents themselves get their children to move out and live separately so that the children can live as per their own convenience and enjoy their own lives. But the problem arises when children limit their parents to just a few phone calls or some monthly allowance. It is very painful to hear that our elders are not being taken care of. But there are also people who make serving their parents the sole purpose of their lives. There's a very touching and inspiring story from Lucknow. Let us watch it together.
"50-year-old Subhash serves his mother in this very manner every day. This routine has been going on for the last 12 years. His mother is 91 years old. Her body only has enough strength left to rise with her son's support. Subhash, who has dedicated his life to his mother, lives in the lanes of Narhi in Lucknow. There are only two people in this house of Subhash. One is himself, the other is his mother. There is no third person. Subhash has made his mother his entire world. 12 years ago, two major storms hit Subhash's life. On one hand, his father passed away, and on the other, his mother slipped on the stairs and broke her hip. Subhash's grief doubled when doctors declared the bone surgery risky due to his mother's weak heart. At that very moment, Subhash made a decision. Even if he has to spend his whole life serving his mother, he will not lose her.
It has been about 12-13 years for Mother. She fell down and her hip bone here broke. Yes, she is bedridden. Yes. So her children. Yes.
Ever since then, Subhash has been taking care of his mother. He never stays out of his mother's sight even for a moment. Subhash did not take up any job just to serve his mother. To manage household expenses, Subhash works as a commission agent at the post office. He goes to the post office and works for an hour or two. Then he uses the income earned from that for his mother's treatment and monthly expenses.
It's just that ever since Mother's problems have increased. Given her age, she is nearly 90 years old. Earlier I used to go to work, but now if I leave, she gets distressed so that it has an impact on our work. Yes.
Subhash doesn't want his mother to suffer even the slightest bit. To avoid any such suffering, he is also very thoughtful about her medical treatment. To avoid any side effects from English medicines, he gets her Ayurvedic and homeopathic treatment. Even during the Corona period, when the elderly were at the highest risk, Subhash took full precautions to protect his mother from infection.
At that time, I used to sanitize my hands thoroughly and then serve her so that she wouldn't catch Corona. I see. Did she get Corona? Did you feel scared, sir? Yes, there was fear, so whenever I came from outside, I would sanitize myself before touching her.
Helping mother get up, bathing her, feeding her, and taking care of her every moment. For Subhash, it has never been tiring or boring. He has considered serving his mother not as a burden, but as his destiny. The mother also never tires of praising the service of this son of hers.
He serves me and gives me medicine before leaving. Then when he returns from the office, he feeds me food and everything. Does he take care of you? Does he look after you? Oh, absolutely. He doesn't let me face any trouble. He doesn't let me face any trouble. None.
After building their careers, people forget their parents, or parents remain just a formality to them. Subhash made his mother his career here. This was the same sacrifice Shravan Kumar made, which Subhash has now made in this age. Bureau report with Ashish Srivastava from Lucknow. Good news today.
Now we will show you the devotion of a friend. When children were running away even from their parents during Corona, at that time, a friend risked his life for his friend. He came forward to help a friend who was infected with Corona and left alone, and stayed with him for 2 months without any fear. So that even if he got Corona, it wouldn't make any difference. Let's watch.
Getting inside.
This picture from a few months ago holds a story that is no less than a shining stone in the foundation of a friendship.
Speak clearly. Very good. Very good. Take a deep breath like that. Feel the answer itself. Calm your mind. It's very good.
Unlike those who turn their backs in trouble, this is a story of risking one's life. A new name has been added to the examples of friendship. Abhishek Singh and Swatantra Singh from Prayagraj. In this, one friend saved another friend's life without caring for his own.
Great. Yes, you trust me, don't you? Yes, if you trust me, then take a deep breath. Say on clearly. You're mine.
I would even give my life for you, friend. This is just a phrase, not reality. It might be true for some, but not for Swatantra. His friend Abhishek proved this to be true. Abhishek not only saved his friend's life, he also did not lag behind in serving others present in the hospital. After going to the hospital, Abhishek kept helping his friend and others.
That type. The man who is fit gets up, keep it just like this, hold it well with both hands, and take a deep breath and exhale deeply. Yet with that in deeply, then
To save his friend Swatantra's life, Abhishek did not listen to his family. He only saw his friend's face pleading for him to stay until the treatment. Abhishek became his friend's shadow for 24 hours. Believe me, Abhishek's care pulled his friend Swatantra back from the jaws of death. When Abhishek admitted Swatantra to the hospital, his oxygen pulse was 35. That is why Swatantra considers himself indebted to his friend.
calm your mind and feel that everything is getting better. Everything is getting very good. There is no illness. It is just mental tension, and we will make you tension-free. Free your mind, you will be perfectly fine. Right?
A friend should be like a brother, and everyone should have such a friend who stands by them in every moment of joy and sorrow. During COVID, no one wanted to sit or stay with anyone at that time in our ward because no one wanted to go into the COVID ward. At that time, Brother Abhishek stayed with me 24 hours and supported me. He stayed with us every moment.
It wasn't easy for Abhishek either. The infection had broken relationships. Even blood relations had changed. Then these were just friends. But no, Abhishek didn't care about anything. He even ignored the words of his family members. There was only one thing in his mind, that he had to save his friend.
I lived with my friend and all the other COVID patients, but I did not test positive for COVID. I would like to tell the youth of all of India not to let the humanity within you die. Help anyone you can, in any way possible, wherever you are.
In modern life, friendship has also become a necessity. Even friendships are now maintained with calculated measures. Risking one's life to save another is just a hollow phrase. In such times, Abhishek's dedication to his friend is once again teaching a lesson about the importance of relationships. With Pankaj Srivastava from Prayagraj, Bureau Report, Good News Today.
Dude, what happens to me?
The relationship between a husband and wife in our society is also quite peculiar. They pray to remain together for 7 lifetimes. Wives even fast for their husbands. Wives can do anything to protect their husbands. There are many stories where a husband endures great suffering for his wife and a wife for her husband for a lifetime. For a lifetime. Let us show you the story of a wife like Shravan Kumar Giri. Come, take a look.
Chandrakala Patidar from Madhya Pradesh saved her husband's life by donating an organ. To save her husband, Chandrakala donated one of her own kidneys to him. A wife's sacrifice for her husband is not common under these circumstances. For this, she even challenged medical science. Despite the blood groups not matching, a new record was set by transplanting the wife's kidney into her husband, Laxman Patidar.
First, he fell ill in January. I could not bear to see his condition. Mom said that she would give it. What happened to her? She developed some problems. Then Dad said that since Mom had already her problems arose, I said that I would give it. No one gave me any courage. I found the courage on my own.
Chandrakala and her husband Laxman are residents of Madhya Pradesh. Laxman is a farmer. In January, while working in the fields, his health deteriorated. When we showed him to doctors at the hospital, we found out both his kidneys had failed. Along with treatment, doctors made it clear that a kidney transplant was the only way left. In such a situation, both mother and father in the family expressed a desire to donate a kidney, but it didn't work out. Then his wife, Chandrakala, decided to donate her kidney. Both reached the famous kidney hospital in Nadiad district, Gujarat, where, after all the difficulties, this transplant took place to the wife.
And the available donor we had was his wife, but his wife. And his blood groups were quite different. So we have been performing transplants with different blood groups for a long time now, and the success rate is much better than before. Although we do not encourage patients to regularly opt for transplants with different blood groups when there is no other option. Then this is an option through which we can perform a transplant even with a different blood group. So we faced 2 challenges in this case. Firstly, the blood group was different and the wife was donating the kidney, meaning the patient's wife was the donor, and since there is no blood relation, the matching is also not ideal. But because we have the technology, we have been doing this for a long time. So due to the protocol and the steel protocol, we were able to perform this transplant.
Chandrakala and Laxman's children are still young, but Chandrakala is happy that her kidney could save her husband's life. Chandrakala believes that the responsibilities that would have fallen on her shoulders had he not been there will now be shared by both of them. Husband Laxman also understands his wife's emotions. By saving her husband's life, Chandrakala has done exactly what a woman does to protect her marriage. While she prays for a long life through fasting and worship, by donating an organ, she has also granted him life from the Almighty. With Idli Shah from Nadiyar, Bureau Report, Good News Today.
Dedicate yourself to someone, smile, borrow someone's pain if you can. Have love in your heart for someone. That is what living is all about. We will meet again with such emotions and stories. If you also have such a story, do send it to the email address appearing on the screen.